I will explain about company vision and mission. For the vision is to be a trusted lifetime financial partner for sustainable growth. For the mission, the first is conducting the best banking activities by prioritizing small, micro, medium enterprise to grow economic environment. And the second is providing excellent service to customer through a widespread network supported by professional human resource. And then the last is providing benefit and then profit to the stakeholders. And here is the organizational structure of company.
I will explain the capital structure of Bank Rakyat Indonesia. Where the capital structure is the way the company funding from debt and equity. BRI capital structure is built on two main components, which is core capital or Tier 1 and supplementary capital or Tier 2. In the last 3 years, BRI Tier 1 capital has increased from 273 trillion in 2022 to 291 trillion in 2024. Tier 2 capital also grow from 11 trillion to 12 trillion. BRI total capital will reach 303 trillion by 2024. In terms of capital adequacy ratio or CAR, BRI record a strong and stable ratio, 25.5% in 2022, 27.2% in 2023, and 26.6% in 2024. This shows the BRI has a very strong capital structure, high core capital dominant, and a large capacity to carry risk and support future business expansion. Next, I will explain Bank BRI funding sources from the last 3 years, from 2022 until 2024. BRI funds come from 4 main components. First, third-party funds as the main source, which increased from 1.307 quadrillion to 1.365 quadrillion, given by saving and deposit. Second, loans from other bank and the central bank or BI increase from 79 trillion to 127 trillion. Third, repo funds increased from 9.9 trillion to 25 trillion. And the last, equity increased from the 303 trillion to 323 trillion. This demonstrates BRI increasingly solid, healthy, and flexible funding structure to support future business growth.
Alright, I will now explain BRI's strategy for protecting its net interest margin. This is a two-sided approach. First, minimizing funding costs, and second, effectively pricing its loans. On the funding side, the primary goal is to minimize the cost of funds. As shown in the first table, it is achieved by maximizing low-cost funds. BRI sets very low interest rates for current and saving accounts, generally below 2.5%. This is create a low-cost funding base, which is the foundation of their profitability. Now, let's turn to the other side, loan pricing, which is detailed in the second table. BRI use a two-layer system here. The first layer is the prime lending rate, and it's the key differentiator, it's the overhead cost. For example, servicing a micro loan has an overhead of 8.71%, while a corporate loan is only 1.70%. This explains why the prime rate for microloans is much higher at 14%. It reflects the true cost of serving that segment. Crucially, however, the prime lending rate is not the final rate. The second layer is risk premium, which added on top and customized for each borrower individual risk profile.
So market risk refers to the potential of losses experienced by financial institutions such as bank in general, so it becomes unexpected change in financial market condition. In this market risk, we divide into 3 points. The first is market risk management process, scope of market risk reporting, and then market risk management function of organization. Okay, here is the table of market risk report. So specific risk exposure from 2022 until 2023. This indicates that BRI has more exposure to specific interest rate, which may because of increase the portfolio and investment with variable interest rates. And here is the next table. So GIRR exposure decreased from 2023 until 2024. This could be due to decrease in general interest rate volatility or better risk management by Bank BRI. Here is the last table. So this suggests that Bank BRI may not active in this type of securities transaction. And then in 2024, Bank BRI have significant commodity risk exposure, although there is no data in 2023.
Okay, now I will explain about managing credit risk at BRI. Credit risk management at BRI is the structured process to identify, measure, monitor, and control potential losses when borrowers cannot pay their loans. Since lending in the core business of bank, managing this risk is very important. BRI uses three lines of defense approach. First, the business units check the approved credit using digital system and internal control. Second, the risk management unit does stress testing, monitor, and credit portfolio. Third, internal audit checks is if all credit risk control are working properly. To support this, BRI use tools like internal risk rating system, the four expert principle, or two people must approve credit, separation between sales and risk terms, a real-time monitoring system called CARS, and regular stress testing. The next slide is credit risk result and NPL. Thanks to this strategy, BRI has successfully reduced its non-performing loan or NPL ratio from 2.95% in 2023 and 2.78% in 2024. Some key success factors include an effective early warning system, real-time monitoring through the CARS system, and regular system testing to prepare for economic challenge.
Okay, next, bank uses of funds of Bank BRI. BRI demonstrate a good commitment to Indonesia grassroots economy with over 80% of its total loans directed toward to MSME sector. Nearly half of these loans are specifically microcredit. Beyond lending, BRI also allocate hundreds of trillions to investment securities for liquidity and income generation. Additionally, significant investment in digital technology, including like BRIMO, BRI Mobile, the BRI Link Agent Network, is crucial for efficiency and financial inclusion. Okay, the next one, we will talk about bank managing liquidity. BRI significantly boosts the economy by allocating over 80% of its substantial trillion rupiah loan portfolio to MSMEs. The bank also maintaining strong financial health through strategic cash and investment management. Furthermore, BRI is a digital leader with platform like BRI Mo, simplifying bank for millions and growing its fund. This demonstrates BRI commitment to economic support, stability, and digital innovation.
The next slide is assessing bank performance. The assessment period is by 2022 to 2024. The first one is ROA. From 2022 to 2023, BRI recorded an increase and then decline in 2024 due to asset growth outpacing profits. And then for the ROA, rose significantly from 2022 to 2023 and declined slightly in 2024. ROA remains a high and solid, even outperforming large banks such as Mandiri or BRI. The next slide is NEM, steadily increased from 2022 to 2023 and declined in 2024, possibly affected by larger credit expansion strategies, slightly compressing interest income ratios, but still remains strong compared to industry average. For the operational expenses to operating income, increased from 2022 to 2023 and rose significantly in 2024. This indicates that operational expenses grew faster than operating income. And then for the NPL, decreased from 2022 to 2023, indicating improved credit quality. And in 2024, NPL grows again, although still low and under control because still under 5%. Threshold that reflects a manageable risk. Then for the capital adequacy ratio, declined from 2022 to 2023, but surged in 2024. This increase indicates that BRI significantly strengthened its capital base. As a conclusion, BRI showed a solid financial health with high capital, efficient asset use, and manageable risk, despite rising costs and slight net interest margin decline in 2024. The next slide is conclusion and suggestion. So, as a conclusion, BRI showed a strong financial performance by 2022 to 2024, with high capital adequacy and low credit risk. Profitability remains stable by ROA, ROE, and NEM, and most loans were directed to MSMEs, aligning with its inclusive missions. Despite rising BOPO, BRI stayed efficient, adapted well to digital transformation, and strengthened risk management. And then for the suggestions, the first one is control operational costs, and then continue digital innovation, improve risk monitoring, expand funding channels, and then implement ESG framework.